Say, man, you're in a privileged position right now. You're in a place to be. Matter of fact, a place to G with the one and only S&OOP. So what you gonna do now? Turn that shit up and let it bang.
Everybody that you fight is not your enemy.
Trenches.
And everybody that helps you is not your friend.
Free time. Nico Trenches, we train
And
online
that's
to
what
be
life's
line. Getting sacks on quarterbacks, you know we live. When you check that 45, keep your nose on his inside. Better punch some, keep your feet moving, dog. My 3 tech and 1 tech, they some real hogs. My DN 6'5", he ain't got no flaws. Good grades, good feet, man, he got it all. I said a crazy he'll snatch something. Real aggressive jump, said he trying to grab something. If the old don't shoot their hands, you better jab some. You better stab some. Or they snatch some. From the youth to the pros, we get it in. If you ain't watching film, you ain't trying to win. If you close the beat gap, then you gotta spin. If you get around the edge, then you gotta bend. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. Where the lineman at. Where the lineman at. D tackle, do your dance. D ends, do your dance. Center, do your dance. Guard, do your dance. Tackle, do your dance. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at. I'm in the trenches where the lineman at.
Fucking bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not gonna happen. Tell me it's gonna fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, TKB. We're back, episode 40. I can't believe we made it to 4-0. Me and Trav made it all the way. We're going to get into all kinds of things this evening. Bushleague plays of the week. Going to get a little quicker on giving you the scores this week. 5 minutes, that's all we get. Last week, we took the whole show. Next week, we're going to give you all the fantasy tips on what's going to go on. We're going to start getting prepped up for the end of the Fantasy Football League we're running over on bushleaguemedia.com. Get into that. We're also going to be ripping pack of cards, little Parkhurst 2021-22 NHL cards. We're going to rip that at the end of the show. All you got to do is like, comment, and give it a share somehow. And somebody who does that's going to win this pack at the end of the show. We will do it after the show. We'll see who shared it and all that good stuff. But I would love for everybody to get that, give it a share, and get this rolling. We got our Twitter space as well. We'll get into that in a few. It is live right now. You can join in the back end, and you'll be able to come give your Bush League takes live. But I want to get into it. We're in week 10. Trav, no sleep. My man, what's happening, brother? How you doing? How's it going, baby? What's happening?
Hey, good morning, man. Any day, I guess it's not morning anymore. Why? I'm so used to doing morning shows, and then on Sunday, I mean, it's late here. I'm like just got the kids to bed, man. But the Steelers won. Steelers won today. They pulled it out at the end, so I'm stoked. Excited to get into a little bit of fantasy football here with you today.
I know, yeah, you were traveling too. You were over at, I think, the Red Bull flu tag with your son there. That's pretty sweet where they set up the planes and fly around, all that good stuff.
Oh,
right?
my goodness.
So that was cool. We'll get into that a little later.
Yeah, it was the wildest thing I had ever seen, man. It was so cool. I want to be a part of it. I want to be involved. It's almost like they intentionally make those airplanes, those models just to fall. But I'll get into it a little bit later when we move into the shred report portion of the show. Man, I'm just stoked to be here. How was your week?
Oh, it's good, man. It's good. Nothing too wild. My little girl started skating, so she did her first 2 skating lessons this week. So that was pretty cool. She's on her skates, starting to learn, starting to rip around a little bit. So I'm excited on that. Got to go to the rink a couple of times and watch her try to, dial it in a little bit. So it's fun. She kind of sits in her butt a little bit, hangs out, rips around a little bit. But yeah, it's cool to get to see my kid experience that. CFL Riders lost out of the playoffs last week, so we were down to the final. It's going to be Winnipeg and the Montreal Alouettes in the final, but Saskatchewan put up a good fight. They lost, but figured I'd pull up the jersey. 13th man. This will be the last we wear it until next CFL season. But no, it's good. Just kind of looking forward to winter. Hoping it starts snowing here. I know it started snowing in some mountains. We'll get into that a little later. There's a few open around the West Coast, so that's pretty rad. And yeah, it's good. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good show. I'm looking forward to it.
Colorado's getting dumped on. But hey, I have one quick question before we dive into it.
Absolutely.
Your daughter wearing hockey skates or figure skates? What's the deal?
She's hockey skates. We'll see if
There
she
we go.
like eventually wants to be like in the figure skating realm or whatever. But she's been a big fan of wanting to skate and such. So she's been doing that. But if you want, so you see, we got the Twitter space here. You can join. Head over to our Twitter. It's live on the Bushleague Media Twitter. You can head there, join, give your Bushleague takes live in a little bit when we're getting through some of our predictions and so on and so forth. So please head over, check that out. And then, yeah, we got all kinds of games today. There was a game over in Germany, Munich. I guess the big highlight was who the ref made one of the calls in German, like, cool, but he studied one sentence. Amazing. But that was just, with Daniel Jones being Daniel Jones, we'll get into that in a few minutes. Bushleague plays of the week. He might be a guy. He could be just every week. We could just name it the Daniel Jones Make a Wish segment. But here we are, baby.
Poor guy, poor Giants, man. It's just what it's gonna be against Carolina. I mean, 2 of the bottom of the barrel in the league, and I know we're gonna jump into it. But TKB, man, is it time to kind of move over to the next segment of the show here?
Well, we were flowing it. You didn't even need to say it. It
naturally.
But either way, we go. Bushleague plays of the week. I want to get right into it. We start with the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Jones. Thanks to Bobby Skinner for the clip. Throws it right in the guy's face. Just throws it in his head. Just here you go. Boom. Bounce it off his head. Another pick. It never ends with this guy. It never absolutely ends with this guy. How does he have a job? Look at Saquon. Saquon's on the other side, reverse backwards, hurdling people, and they're paying Daniel Jones to throw balls at a guy's forehead.
That was the best play of the year, by the way. We didn't talk about that. We didn't get to meet up last week. That reverse hurdle after dodge, duck. Yeah, it was silly. It was absolutely silly. But yeah, Daniel Jones doing Daniel Jones things, and I mean, you're right. He's going to be there every week. We will easily be able to find a Bushleague play of the week for Daniel Jones every week.
Never ends. Well, one of the most maybe heartbreaking to me of them all, my boys, the Broncos, 16-14. They're down. They've had to lead the whole game. KC gets again, horrible call by the refs to give them the touchdown, to give them the 16 points. It should have just been a 14-9 win. But of course, here's a free play. Go and get a free touchdown. Naturally, Merry Christmas, as always. But the Broncos, Will Lutz, I said even earlier in the game, I have put a tweet, go to my Twitter, you see it. I'd be like, Lutz, you got to get out of here. But here's another one. Half the Kansas City lines across the freaking line offside, past the guy before the snapper even has the ball. No call, game over. Oh, KC's so good. They blocked it 9-0. F you guys. I'm sick of it. Here's a clip from Bleacher Report on Twitter. It's absolute trash what's going on. They'll do anything to get these guys.
Oh man. Well, I mean, it's a win for the Broncos to keep it that tight against the Chiefs, to nearly win the game. Is that a win for them in their book? Are they still?
No, it's a loss is a loss. You win or you lose. That's absolute shenanigans there.
I thought it was you win or you learn. Is that not true in the National Football League? You either win or you learn?
Yeah, you learn that if you play the Chiefs on any given Sunday, the refs are going to help them win the goddamn game. That's what you learn. Every week you learn it. And you learned it last week, but you come back again and we learn it again.
Oh man. Poor Broncos. Chiefs are going undefeated. It's happening.
I mean, that's the point where it's like it might be destined, because that's disgusting. I don't know what else to say, but that's a Bushleague play of the week by the refs, giving the Chiefs another goal. And then here's one from you, my man. A beautiful, filthy, filthy goal. This one's on the good side of things here. But what a beautiful, beautiful goal. Gophers hockey. You're going to have to tell me a little bit more about this clip. But what a beauty, filthy, filthy goal here.
Yeah, just this nasty sauce, backhand sauce to the center, and the baseball bat in, almost like the bunt, man. And supposedly that closed out the game. I don't know too much about the game. I just saw it pop up on my TikTok this morning. You don't see too many goals like that, and stoked to see the Gophers put it in and get the dub.
Man, that was filthy, like a beauty sauce out of the air, like into tap it out of the air. That was
usually those kind of goals are off of deflections where the puck bounces straight up or comes off the goalie and is an upward trajectory and a straight downward trajectory, and somebody's baseball, like if you're throwing a ball up in the air and you're hitting it. But this one was a pass, a sauce pass from the side, from a backhand over a player, and right out of the air, right into the goal, man. Just a killer goal. You're not going to find a better goal this year.
Like right out of the air like that too. It's,
you're not going to find a better goal this year. I don't think in any major hockey league. I mean, it's just so impressive, so technical on all sides for a backhand sauce like that, and the guy just take it out of the air is impressive.
Yeah, no, I'm with you all the way. That was. I don't even know what to say, man. As a attendee, you're like, just what do you?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do there. There's absolutely nothing you can do there because you don't know when it's hitting his stick and what direction it's going off of, right? The way the puck hits the stick. I mean, I say it was a sauce, but it got up on its edge a little bit, and that puck could have went anywhere.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, those are Bushleague plays of the week. Check them out again. Obviously, Daniel Jones will probably be back on the list next week. But I want to get into the scores this week. We got 5 minutes to get into it, get her done, and give everybody what we think of the scores this week. A quick little touch on every game, 5 minutes. You ready to rock and roll? You ready to get her done here, Trav?
Man, I'm pulling them up. I'm getting ready. I know how we do this. It's week 10, man. We started out on Thursday, AFC North matchup, Bengals-Ravens, dude.
You ready? We're starting the clock?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Well, obviously, that game was filth. I mean, you want to talk about a potential, maybe actual Bushleague beatdown is just anybody that played Jamar Chase this week, 61 points put up against him. That's disgusting. One of the almost one of the all-time, well, it is one of the all-time, but Tyreek Hill had a 62-pointer. 1 point for being like the all-time greatest fantasy week ever. But that's a beatdown if you're ever part of one. But just an all-around amazing game. I want to know your thoughts on going for two at the end. I think I've never stood with it. I think tie the game and go and see what happens in OT. I just hate this going for two shit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, let's take a chance in OT versus have to take a chance on a onside kick. On an onside kick where they know you're on, you have to onside kick it, right? So I'd way rather go to OT, have a chance, almost a guaranteed chance of getting the ball and going down and getting a win that way versus going for two. I just think it's too much of a risk.
I think it's like a 28% you're going to make the 2 point, where like it's like you have like a 70% chance of winning if you win the coin toss and you have the ball. You have like a 40% chance of winning if you trust your defense to be able to make a stop. So it's like I actually think it's statistically stupid, but I think that was worth spending an extra moment or two on. But Panthers, Giants, they play. Or go ahead. You had something.
I was just saying, I love confidence. I love the coach's confidence. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. If it worked out, we wouldn't be saying this right now. We'd be praising him for taking it. But move on, Panthers.
No, I'd still say give me extra football.
Panthers Giants, we just talked about it. Panthers getting the dub. Not shocked. Battle of the bottom of the barrel. Battle of the Bush leagues.
Bottom of the Bush League teams of the NFL. Nothing special to talk about. 19-3 for the Panthers. Bears put up the lowest stats of the week. 3 points. Caleb Williams will be painting his nails with L's on every finger this week. Didn't really pay much attention to that game this week, so don't got a lot of stats on it for you. But this an absolute duster from, again, those are probably the four worst teams in the NFL right there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was just going to say.
Even though Chicago's actually doing kind of good, I'm just hating on them. But
no worries, man. Moving on. CMC's back in business and back in Tampa. What do you think? 23-20.
They said he was going to get 20 touches, so I put him in last minute. They're freaking lucky by the skin on their teeth. 13 carries, 7 targets just for 20. He didn't catch one of them, so he only got 19. But I mean, he's back and he's going to be CMC. Tendonitis or not, I feel like he's probably thinking of it as like time to run for a Super Bowl and retire. So I think we're going to get the greatest performance we've ever seen out of a man in the second half of the season. Personally, that's my opinion. And good to see them get a win. The Bucks. Pretty impressive. Baker Mayfield, not a great night, but they're doing pretty good without their two top guys. So
my daughter was trashing me this morning for not letting her know that she could start CMC in her league. She was like, "Dad, you didn't tell me he was playing. What the hell?"
That's fair. You do run girl.
Yeah. I failed her. I definitely let her down. Moving on to Broncos Chiefs. We just already talked. Let's keep going. We're gonna Bills Colts.
I mean, Josh Allen being Josh Allen, doing Josh Allen things. Keon Coleman out for the game, and they still get it done 30-20 against the Colts. Your boys, Steelers 28, barely 1 point. Russ Wilson just barely getting it done. And you know what's the funniest part about the whole thing is the guy who catches the game-winning touchdown, Mike Williams, he's banished by Aaron Rodgers 7 weeks. He's not doing the playbook. He's not where he needs to be. He's been with Russell Wilson for a cup of coffee, and maybe they had a slow, quick snack before kickoff this morning, and they're catching TD's end zone game winner. No problem.
Wild.
Mike Williams, it's 3 interceptions again. Aaron Rodgers. Problem.
Solid comeback win. Solid comeback win by the Steelers today. A crazy catch by Pickens in the end zone for that first tutty. Maybe it's coming together. Maybe it's coming together.
Jags 12-7. Justin Jefferson, Sam Darnold barely get it done against a hapless Trevor Lawrence. Those Jags, but they get her done, and it's not much for fantasy. Anybody who had Jefferson's crying. Not a lot of points got put on the board this week. 45 seconds. Saints, Falcons 20-17. Good, just hard team win. Interim head coach after they fired the coach. First win. You love to see the team rally behind a new coach.
Chargers Titans, big dub for the Chargers.
Another good game from Dobbins. Ladd McConkey played pretty good, but Herbert stepped up. Big game for him, and they're playing it out. They're ripping.
Ladd's just tearing it up this year, man. He's a rookie on fire. Jets Cardinals.
6 points, second worst of the year. Like I said, Rodgers bunch of teddies.
Kyler Murray, huge fantasy game. Huge fantasy game.
32 points. I was playing against Burrow in the league, so that helped getting him. And then Eagles, Cowboys, 34-6. Cowboys do nothing. But I mean, Dak's not that good though. So Cooper Rush to Dak is like the same team. Why do they only get 6 points? They are cooked.
Dude, we did good, man. We made it through all the games. We don't have to make it through the live game, do we? We don't have to get through what's happening now. But
I don't know what the score is right now, though. Do you? You know what the score is?
Yeah, it's 23-7. The Texans are whooping up on them right now.
On Detroit, and you don't expect that often from a Detroit team that's always the team that's been putting up the bigger amount of numbers throughout the season. But we updated that ticker. Look, we got banners, we got scores, we got it all. That's why we only need 5 minutes on it. It's on the bottom. You can watch it all. Gosh darn thing. We don't need to tell you anything else about it. Moving on, we're going to get into our week 11 predictions. Same thing. We got 5 minutes to give you all the wins, losses we think we're going to have this week. You can play along with us. We're going to be posting that on our blog next year. 2025, we're going to have a new site update for Bushleague Sports. You're going to be able to play along on the, bet against what we do for picks. But this week, we're going to make our week 11 picks and then get into our fantasy football top fives. This week, we're actually giving out valuable information here. I don't know why, because I want to beat all you idiots that watch me in this show, but I'm going to give you guys a couple tricks and let you know a thing or two. But week 11, we're going to get into it. You want to kick it off?
Let's go. Yeah, kicking it off with Commanders and Eagles. Again, I think Commanders look good today. They've looked great all season. Going against a powerhouse Eagles team, getting an easy dub against the Cowboys this week as we expected. Dude, I'm going Commanders here. This is for control of the NFC. Why am I what conference is this? I don't even
division? Honestly, I've never really knowing what conference there's 4 teams.
Division.
Too many.
Hold on. It's the East, right? So it's the Cowboys, it's the Giants, it's the Eagles. Damn it. Go. All right.
I'm gonna take the Eagles. I'm gonna take the Eagles to beat the Commanders.
Copy, go.
Moving on. Raiders, Dolphins. Raiders going into Dolphin City. I think they're gonna finally get it going and get a win. I think Dolphins take this one.
Yeah, they have to. This is a must-win game. Hopefully we see a big performance out of Tua. And I got Waddle. Dude, Waddle's trash. Waddle's not scoring any points. No. Continuing on. Browns, Saints.
I'm taking the home team. Saints just got a good team win. I'm taking them again because, as much as I want to go with my boy Jameis Winston, Alvin Kamara, the boys they'll get it done. Saints will get it done.
Perfect. I'm taking that as well. Moving on to Colts versus Jets. I think it's another one where you can kind of look to take the home team. For me, especially, I'm going Jets. Maybe Devontae Adams.
I was going to give the Jets the benefit of the doubt. Let them have a win at home. MetLife's going to finally see a win in the green lights.
Yeah, who's not going to see a win? Nashville and Tennessee are not going to see a home win against the Vikings. Sam Darnold's going to bounce back after a pretty poor performance this week. I expect to see big numbers out of Hawkinson, out of Jefferson, and out of Darnold next week.
Yep, I'm taking Vikings next week too. That's easy for the pick 'em, no problem. Packers, Bears. Bears coming off a horrible performance. Packers really, everybody's like, oh, Jordan Love, he's so good. I don't think he's good. Bears will bounce back at home. They'll get the win.
No, not Bears are cooked, man. Bears are cooked, man. They're already looking at who they're drafting, who their first overall quarterback is next year. That's what the Bears are doing. Jags, Lions.
Lions.
Yeah, we might be moving too fast right now. Jags, Lions are up next.
Oh, no, that's perfect. Well, Jags, Lions, I'm going to have to give that an easy Lions. Jags are not going to get much done, and that should hopefully be pretty easy pick for us.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting after this game. I don't even know how much time. Is it halftime in this game yet? It's got to be past the half in this first game. Looking over, we're third quarter. Lions are going to be sad if they just scored. Lions just scored. So it's a closer game. Lions got this one in the bag easy against the Jaguars.
Nice. I'm just switching screens here. Give us.
You're good. Yeah, we're moving over to the Rams and the Patriots. Patriots coming off a big win over the Bears. They're not going to get the win over the Rams, though. Even at home, Rams got that one easy.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Rams are going to get it. Kyren Williams, keep it rolling. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. I mean, when they have those two receivers, it's a whole different offense. That's crazy.
Wild.
Stafford goes from useless to just like the best in the whole league. But
it's pulling touches away from Williams, though. It's pulling touches away from Williams, so it's going to be interesting to see his fantasy value.
They get more touchdowns and stuff though this way too. Though they get a little closer to the end zone more often.
That's true. That's true.
And deep punts is right. Here's one we'll probably dispute because you'll probably go with the homers, but Ravens, Steelers, I'm going to have to give it to Lamar Jackson.
This is the Steelers' first divisional game. I know we don't like talking division, but this is the first divisional game for the Steelers this season so far. They've had a really easy kind of road to date, sitting at 7-2, I believe, right now. This is going to be their biggest challenge of the year, and it's going to be a tough one. I
don't mind talking about divisional games because I know they're important. Just don't ask me what division anybody's in.
No, I always screw it up as well. I know who's in the divisions. I just forget what the name of the divisions are. Chiefs. Nope.
Seahawks, 49ers. Nope. Seahawks, 49ers. I'm going to give it to 49ers at home.
49ers as well, and they're in the same division. Let's go.
Nice. Falcons, Broncos. Broncos got to get one this week.
Yeah,
they gotta get. I just can't believe this week. That pisses me off because we're playoff bound with that win. But screw you, Kermit, and your little cheating referee people. I mean, no wonder. That's why they paid him $500 million so he'd pay all the refs. Moving on. Chiefs, Bills. Speaking of him, he's going to lose. I hate him. Bills are going to win. Josh Allen isn't the man. He's the best quarterback in the league, and he's going to take the boys out and give them what they should have gotten today.
Dude, what do you think about the Bengals Chargers? Obviously,
I need a pick from the Chiefs and Bills first.
Oh, yeah, Chiefs. No, Chiefs got. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
Bengals, Chargers. Bengals coming off a big, impressive game where they just barely lost.
Yeah.
They're going to lose again. Chargers.
No way. No way the Bengals are losing to the Chargers.
Yep,
You're going to see, oh, man. Maybe we'll keep it to 2 touchdowns. All right. Texans, Cowboys.
Hey, whatever. We can run out of time. We run this show.
Okay. Let me go back to Bengals real quick. You're going to get 2 touchdowns out of Jamar Chase. He's not going to go for 3. Two next
Everyone's
week.
going to start him in DFS, and he's going to get almost an egg. It's how it goes when you get 61.
Not with Higgins out. Is Higgins out next week? I think he is.
I'm not sure. Texans, Cowboys, easy win for Stroud. He is Texas's team.
They are Texas's team.
You guys got 3 teams down there, hey? Or no, you got 2?
We had 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Texans are Texas's team. They're America's team.
Dallas, they're America's team. The Steelers will always be America's team. I know Dallas likes to claim it, but the Pittsburgh's America's team for sure.
I respect it. Well, we got her done. We made her through. You love to see it. Yeah, beautiful. So
I'm winded. Man.
Maybe we'll put a clip out about that, and we'll be able to dial some people in. Maybe not. Who's to say? What I do want to thank though is up in the top corner there, we had a little timer keeping us rocking and rolling through that thing the whole way. I want to give a shout to Bam Bam's Walking, Bam Bam's Fitness. You can head right over, check the QR code right there. Head over to bambamsfitness.com. You can sign up for our programs. We got the Metaband and Crossbody live. And speaking of which, I'm going to let you take a word from Joel about our Crossbody program. We'll see you in a minute.
Hey everybody, Joel Mills here with the Bam Bam Fitness Club, here to introduce our crossbody resistance course. We train Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. The class is 1 hour long, and it's weight training as well as aerobic stepper exercises.
Curl, press out, press up. Just do your best here, guys. If the arms burn out, just take a breather. And shoulder to shoulder stretch, guys.
And then we add those metabands in to give us the supersets and the exercise combinations to really increase that muscle breakdown, guys. This is like your typical lifting day in the gym.
And 10 push-ups. Band on the wrist, guys. Squat press for 10. And wall rows. Let's hit 15 each side. Bring that hand as low as you can with that palm back. And then just trying to keep the reps consistent.
We're gonna train hard, we're gonna break our muscles down so they grow back bigger, stronger week by week. Love to see you guys in the crossbody resistance class. We'll see you there. Have a great day, guys.
Awesome job. Until next time.
Love it. Get jacked up with a little Bam Bam's fitness. I also seen our boy there, Italo. He's throwing a little love. He's joined the leagues. He's learning the ways. Check this out. This is what we love to see. This is what happens when you watch the Bush League sports. You get locked in. Did a last-minute change of defense today. Had the New York Jets. Replaced it with the Cardinals. Obviously genius. The Cardinals smoked the Jets today. You love to see it. The homie's out there learning the ways and getting fantasy dubs, I hope, off of it.
Italo, man, I did the exact same thing. I didn't drop the Jets. I dropped not the Titans. Who was it? I'm losing it. I dropped somebody, picked up the Cardinals D, and man, it was booming for me, man. I was stoked.
Love it, love it, love it. And a big fan of Vitali. He's been a guy who's been around since Web3. We kind of got in through Metaverse together, got to know each other, and he's been a big supporter of what I'm doing. So big shouts to you. I appreciate you. Had to get a sip in. Should have done that while I was watching the promo for a couple minutes. But we're going to get into this week's top 5 to start week 11. We're going to give a little actual info. We've been saying we're going to give some info. So this week, we're actually going to give some valuable information to the people, help them win their fantasy league here. We're going to dial it in. But this week, we're going top 5 quarterbacks to start week 11 next week. We got a stable of studs here, but Jared Goff is who I'm bringing in at number 5 this week. He's been playing good, averaging around 20 fantasy points a game. He's had a couple lower games, 16, 13, 6 points, as you can see. But I think we're going to get a big bounce back game against Houston. Like we said, that's going to be a big game. Or sorry, they're playing Houston right now, but next week against their next squad, Jacksonville, I think it's going to be a big bounce back game. I think he's going to have a good game today against Houston, but we're halfway through it, and he hasn't really put up huge numbers yet.
He's struggling a bit right now.
Is my quarterback number 5 for next week, though. This week, he wasn't top 10 this week, but next week I got him at number 5.
I agree. I like that pick against the struggling Jacksonville defense right now. This is a rough game for Goff. He's probably going to come back and pull it off because that's what the Lions are doing this year. I would not doubt it. But right now he's at 4 picks on the game, so it's a little rough.
Yeah, it's I haven't been able to keep up with it, so I'm not sure exactly.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I got like 4 screens going here, so the only reason I'm able to and kick that detail over to you right now is because I got it running. But so that's your number 5. How many are we giving? We're giving all 5 right now. So who do you got for number 4?
Well, you know the list, baby. Give it to us.
Oh, Lamar Jackson. I don't. Did you see his play today? He had a play today where he or on Thursday where he rolled out and ran for backwards about 30 yards and then 40 yards into the end zone on a 3rd and 15 or something like that. He's just a playmaker. He's going to continue to be a playmaker. And now that he's got a running back that can put the ball in the end zone at will, Lamar Jackson is, he's all over this.
Some might say, why don't you have him as number 1 or number 2? I got him as number 4 this week just because I think it's going to be I think Pittsburgh's going to be a little tougher to play against. I know you love hearing that as a Pittsburgh guy, but I think I don't think he's putting up 35 points against Pittsburgh.
You got TJ Watt coming after you. You got Cam Hayward coming after you. It's a stout.
For any other quarterback, I wouldn't even put him in the top 12. Lamar Jackson still breaking the top 5. But
agree.
Next week, here's my guy. So if you're putting DFS, he's going to be an expensive play, but I think you're still going to get some good points out of the guy.
Agree. And then you have for the 3rd overall for next week, Jalen Hurts versus Washington. How you feeling about Jalen?
I mean, he's been a stud all season. You look at the stats, obviously, again, Sleepers, where we host all our fantasy leagues over at Bushleague Media, and we get all the stats here. You can see he's been logging 20. Last couple weeks, it's been 22, 23, 36, 20, for the last 5 weeks, averaging 27 points a game. That is impressive. Actually, averaging higher than that, 28.5 points a game. It's hard to turn him down. He's got that Washington team that they're good. Not the best defense on the planet. He's the number 1, I think, I guess it says right there, number 6 rated quarterback in fantasy, but I think we're going to get a top 3 performance at Jalen Hurts this week, which isn't anything probably too crazy and bold to say, but that's what I think we're getting.
He's impressive, man. He is an impressive quarterback. And I was just watching the game. He was interviewed after the game, and my daughter and I were watching it. And, just remembering him in Alabama and getting benched in the national championship game for Tua, and just to see how his career turned to Oklahoma and then to Philly, and has just been dominant in Philly ever since. Obviously lost in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, but still, Jalen Hurts is a special player and a big time fantasy point getter. Jalen Hurts next week, number 3 pick.
Number 2, Brock Purdy. Obviously, kid's been a stud. I think he's going to go up against a bit of a weaker Seattle defense next week. Big game against Mahomes. I just think it's going to be one of those high scoring games as opposed to you get those divisional games between the Broncos and Chiefs that sometimes ends up low scoring just because of that Broncos defense. But I think we're going to see a big high scoring game. 49ers. I'll be taking the over wherever it is. I think we're going to see 30 plus points from both teams. And that's why I put him up high, because I think, I mixed up and I was talking about 2 different games at once. I'm an idiot and I don't know.
You're
why.
good. You're good.
Seattle. But that's why it's Bushleague Sports. But yeah, not a good defense. That's where I'm at with it.
Absolutely, man.
I got talking about my next one a little bit.
I know you got a little excited. You got a little excited because the next one is a huge one. The number 1 pick or the Bushleague Sports number 1 pick of QBs for next week, Josh Allen. I completely agree with what you were saying, that this is going to be a high action, high scoring game. Josh Allen's a slinger, man. He's a gunslinger. He's going to be out there dropping bombs, dropping dimes, whatever you say.
I think we see close to that 30 points we've seen in the first week. I just think it's going to be a big night. I think it's going to be a couple touchdowns from him and a lot of slinging it.
I wonder how Buffalo's defense is this year. Obviously Broncos come in and they just, hold the line. They hold the line against the Chiefs, and as you say, the Chiefs stole that game. Will Buffalo's defense be able to do the same against the likes of Travis Kelce and Patty Mahomes? It'll be interesting.
Okay.
It'll be interesting. I guess we're talking about QBs. My bad.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. I was just talking about the wrong game entirely. And then my sleepers. So those are kind of our top 5. We give our top 5. Those are good plays to put in your DFS lineup. You're going to a few of the more expensive guys. Jared Goff's going to be a little bit on the cheaper end. But my sleeper play for, if you're looking for a guy you need to plug in next week in your season long, you're going to waivers. We still got a couple more weeks of bye weeks and etc. My sleeper play of the week is actually a guy who only brought his team to 6 points this week, but Aaron Rodgers, actually my sleeper pick of the week for next week, going up against Indy. I think he'll have a bounce back week, and he'll be a guy that's probably available on waiver wires, get you through some season long, maybe a deep DFS pick too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I'd like to see him and Devontae Adams start to link up a little bit more. And, with Mike Williams out, it's bound to happen. Just another week under center with Devontae. So we'll see how it goes. And hey, I wanted to go back real quick because you were talking about cheap in DFS leagues. I don't imagine Brock Purdy being too expensive either. So hopefully that's
he's usually a little bit in the higher range. He's usually
okay.
7, 8 to kind of price range. He's not going to be like the Lamar cost, but he's usually been pretty consistent fantasy. So he'll have that, like, depending if you're DraftKings, probably 7,000 range ish.
Gotcha. Love it. Love it. Well, so Aaron Rodgers is your sleeper pick of the week for QBs, man. Should we get into to the running back game?
Love it. Number 5. This week, nothing too great. It might be kind of funny if you really think about it. But this week, number 5, David Montgomery. They're going to be going against the hapless Jacksonville. The only reason that these guys aren't like just the greatest Hall of Famer ever in the worth, putting up 180 yards an evening, and the only reason that they're not the number 1 rated running back is because
they're on the same team.
Pardon?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, I should have muted there.
What are you saying?
I'm laughing. I said they're together. They work together. They're on the same team.
No, exactly. I love we're on the same page. But I was like, what the fuck did I say something silly? But I mean, they would be number 1, but there's 2 of them. They're both going to probably put up 20 points. I mean, maybe 25 against Jacksonville, but that's my number 4 and 5 this week from the exact same team. It's crazy that here we are literally 2 seasons later, because it happened all last year too, with Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery just every week. 10, 20, 30 points, 10, 20, 30 points. And against Jacksonville is going to be easy.
I can't believe that you have both those guys starting in your dynasty. Is it your dynasty league or your keeper league? And you got them both starting every week, weekend and week out. I won
the league last year, starting only them. I had no one else either. I had a couple guys, they were injured, and I had no one else at running back, and I won the league starting Gibbs and Montgomery. This year I have help because I made a bunch of trades. I got Kenneth Walker, Chuba Hubbard, Tyrone Tracy I drafted in the rookie draft. So that's been super helpful. I actually have a stable. My team's ridiculously stacked in Dynasty. But that's what I mean. To have 2 guys from the same team carrying you and carrying their team the way they do, just utterly amazing. So we got 2 guys from the same team, top 5 this week, Bushleague Sports.
Love it, man. Love it. Hey, moving on to, I guess this would be the number 3, Joe Mixon versus Dallas, man. I think this is a pretty easy pick. Mixon's just been crushing it all year long, and coming in against a beaten up Dallas team. I mean, he's just going to put the ball in the end zone like he does.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we'll see what he ends up with this week, but I mean, he's 20 points, as you can see, almost every week. He's been very, very, very consistent fantasy, if not the most consistent guy, aside from when he was injured and out for a couple weeks. But when he's playing, 20 points basically guaranteed. So I think he's going to run all over Dallas next week and just continue his run as a dominant force. He's number 16 ranked overall. Be a lot higher if he didn't miss those 3 weeks. But I think he's going to be our top 3 guy.
What is it showing his fantasy points for right now?
Yep.
What's he looking?
6.2.
Oof. Okay, gotcha. No worries.
Yeah, it's looking rough.
Man, there goes my league.
Number 2 coming in his 2nd week back. Number 1 overall pick in dynasty leagues across the world. Christian, I got tendonitis and told nobody, but Jason Mason told the world. His name's not Jason Mason, it's Jordan Mason. Told the world in a post-game interview, and then I had to basically seek help across the world and try to come back. It's week 10. Here we go. Christian McCaffrey. Is he going to help people with their 0-8 fantasy teams come back and win?
Nope. It's too late. It's too late for y'all. It's too late for you guys to draft a Christian McCaffrey.
Who acquired him in trade, have a good team, banked on him. I did that in a few leagues. I'm laughing now.
Laughing. If you could have managed a 500 year up until now, it's week 10, 1-5, lost 5. If you could have managed 500 and you have McCaffrey, man, you're set. You're set into the playoffs. You're set all the way to a
I traded Devontae Smith and another absolute stud for Christian McCaffrey, like 2 pretty stud receivers for Christian McCaffrey. Because I first traded away Joe Mixon for Terry McLaurin and Brian Thomas. And so that was a good trade, but I was
Terry's putting up points, man. Love
crazy. Like, it was sad because Mixon was a good guy to trade off, a really good running back. But I was like, man, that's a pretty good stable. And it allowed me to trade away Devontae Smith. And geez, I don't know why I can't remember the other guy, but he was like my 3rd round pick. Might have been Cooper Kupp or something, but I traded away to get Christian McCaffrey and Puka Nacua, who were both injured.
Love it.
And so and then I sat on them. Now I'm in a position where, like, this week I had to bench Najee Harris. I had to bench Brian Thomas. I had to bench like Javonte Williams and shit because my team's too stacked. So that one I'm kind of laughing. He just come back and he ran all over it. But he's my number 2 running back of the week, CMC, versus that same hapless Seattle defense. We're going to see a big one for him next week. He did good this week. He's going to get 25. He's probably going to get 30 touches next week.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. All right, you're number 1, dude. Drum roll it.
You know who it is? Who do you think? Who do you think? Who's your number 1? Who would yours be?
Number 1 this week. I mean, I think CMC's got to be the number 1.
Okay, that's fair.
If I was going number 1, I would be going CMC. But as you're saying, the cost of CMC is going to be so high. So what's going to be a reasonably priced running back? And I think that you found it, man. So this was your pick for this number 1. So why don't you announce it?
I don't know if it'd be much cheaper in DFS. A bit probably, but
and CMC,
he's going to be just depending. I guess I haven't looked at what they're going to price him. I haven't really looked at the CMC pricing. It's probably going to evolve now that he's back and played a good game.
Played a great game. Yeah.
But Devonta Kane is my go-to guy. He's been having some good weeks. He's coming off a couple basically 30-point weeks. He'll be going up against Las Vegas, who hasn't had the greatest defense going so far. And last game, a big 32-pointer. I think Vegas is in trouble this week.
Yeah, I agree. And I know we both picked the Dolphins to take Vegas down. So I like this pick. I like the whole bundle of 5 for the running backs with Gibbs, Mixon, Montgomery, CMC. Man, you've been crushing them.
Love it. Appreciate it. I can't do without you. And I noticed too in our show notes that I was at 80. Like, I didn't put the numbers backwards. Instead of in the first one, I did like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm such a bozo in the other ones. I started at 5, but then I counted up to like 6, 7, 8, 9. And I confused myself. I was like, who's rated 9? And I was like, oh, that's 1.
I don't even see numbers anymore. I don't know what's happening, but I do know you have a sleeper pick.
And you might just like that sleeper pick. So again, sleeper picks, obviously our top 5s, it's never going to be some crazy glamorous wild thing. But again, you want to go that deep pick that I think is going to be a guy to sneak in on some DFS leagues. Or again, if you're in need of a running back, you're in a season-long maybe a keeper league, but any season-long league where you're looking to waiver wire help. I think a guy going to go against a tough team, but again, probably a high-scoring game in the Pittsburgh offense, Jaylen Warren. That's my sleeper pick of the week. He's basically split points this week with Najee Harris, and a guy that is, in some leagues, probably going to be sitting on the bench.
So, in most leagues, he sits on the bench. Unless you're hurting for running backs, he's on the bench. But he, as you said, he puts up points, and he's in for big-time plays. Impressive, can run the ball, can receive. I really like this play with Jaylen Warren, and I like what he brings to the Steelers offense for sure.
Nice. I love it. Well, before we get into the wide rights, I just want to remind everyone, please like, share, give us a comment. Our pal here, Jonathan, another big supporter. Shouts to you, Pop and Y. What's going on? We're just hanging, chatting some sports. We're gonna dial you in. I can't give you too much information. I can't have you beat me in none of these leagues, but we're chilling. We're enjoying it. Go ahead.
I want to time out real quick because I know you do a lot of leagues, and I'm really excited about that card rip a little bit later. Hopefully we get
going into the show. Just comment and share, and someone's going to win. Someone who's commented and shared, whether it's YouTube or X, is going to win.
Which leagues do you take seriously, and which leagues do you play more risky? Where you're like, hey, I'm comfortable dropping, whoever you traded away. Who was it? Devontae Smith, and you traded Cooper Kupp for CMC. Like, that just seems like such a risky trade that not many people are going to do. But when you're in 7 leagues, maybe you play nice in one league, and maybe another league you take big risks.
I feel like I didn't necessarily think that was. I guess I'm a guy who's a psychotic trader. Love trading. It's my favorite thing in fantasy. So for me, I seen I thought trading Mixon away for CMC and Thomas, because it was early, I thought it was actually a very smart trade. And I thought because of doing it, because I already had like 3 top 15 wide receivers, I was like so certain that I would be able to overpay to then get a running back who, in the end, it's like, man, I probably didn't need to trade Mixon, but I actually think my team's way better now. So that was the one where I don't think it was all that crazy. For the most part, my leagues are like, I got my Dynasty League and my Bushleague Classic. I take them both very serious. And then I got my buddy Brian's League and my buddy Earl's League, who I take both of those pretty serious as well. They're my friends' leagues. So then the only other leagues I'm really playing in are the 2 Bushleague leagues that I'm involved in. And so, like, I mean, I take them serious because I want to win, but those ones too, maybe not as important to win the league. Important. I do want to win it. There's some really cool prizes. That one, it's more like, as long as we're all doing good in the league, that's awesome. And I want us to try and win this tournament we're in, which we'll get into in a little bit. I mean, we could even touch on it now quick before we move on with things, but it's like, that's the leagues that I'm probably going to take a little more risk in, is these ones in the Bush League tournament.
Gotcha. Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. Well, hey, do you want to get into that now, or let's
we'll just touch on it quick here. I'm going to send a site update live tomorrow for week 11, but through week 10, but going through week 7, we've seen the AccuTire All-Stars leading the way here. You guys are sitting middle of the pack. I don't know how you're feeling the last couple of weeks. Like I said, we'll push an update here right away. But what we have is just 6 different communities going head to head. And so, like I said, everybody understands how fantasy works. In this tournament, what we have going on is, in each league, there's going to be a winner. People are going to win prizes. People in your community have some pretty cool prizes, which we should start talking about some of those prizes again a little more. We'll get into that next week. We'll touch on all the prizes coming from all these leagues. There's some big stuff coming. I'm pretty excited about it. But all 12 scores from each league get combined every week to go head to head against another community in our tournament leaderboard and our head to head weekly matchups here. And so just really been fun to see other communities going up against each other and stacking the wins, stacking the losses. And next year, what we're going to be bringing to the Bush League website is we're actually going to be launching some draft and rips. So you're going to be able to come in, basically buy access to a fantasy league. We'll be ripping rare packs. You'll have a chance to get some rare cards with that entry and a chance to win the league. Maybe it's $100 entry league. You can win $500 worth of pack rips and really something to help people have a lot of fun with their fantasy sports. Finally launch that interactive paid platform I've always been talking about. And then really be able to integrate pack rips, fantasy sports, have a little fun with it. And I think it's going to be a cool avenue in the future, and giving people some, options to really grow their sports collectibles. Say you enter like one of the leagues we're going to have is basically, we won't give too much away, but we got our hands on a whole bunch of 1979 packs that could have Wayne Gretzky rookies in them. So we're going to be doing some like $1,000 entry leagues. Obviously, it's not just like you pay $1,000 if you don't get a Gretzky, it's over, because you're still in a fantasy league, right? So that's what I think is super cool about it. You pay, if you like get that hit, like you're all of a sudden you've hit like 10 grand or 100 grand just at the draft. But now you get to play the season, and maybe you win the league and you get, $5 grand prize. And now you can enter next year, all kinds of different rips, all kinds of different stuff. And all of a sudden from one entry, maybe you're playing fantasy for 3-4 years and getting all kinds of different cards and collectibles. So really looking forward to launching that new site update here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Fantasy hockey's been a big one for me this year. I've really enjoyed learning it, and I know we're going to get into it a little bit deeper here, probably in about 10-15 minutes. So, dude, stoked. The league's crushing it. Sassy's struggling a little bit. We're struggling. But I love to see how active the communities are this year that are a part of the Friends Fantasy League compared to last year. Last year, it was you guys were number 1 with Bush League Media, and Shredding Sassy was number 2 for practically the whole year. Right now, there's a lot of flip-flopping in the board, and it's made for a way more exciting tournament. So man, I'm here for it, buddy.
Love it. Well, let's get into our top 5. Speaking of, keeper leagues and all kinds of different fantasy leagues, we do them all on Sleeper app for fantasy football, one of the best fantasy football apps out there. But our top 5, we're starting off with Jamar Chase coming off a 61-point week. Again, people go, why isn't he number 1? Well, it just isn't. That's just why, because I decided I make this goddamn list. But the LA Chargers, good defense. I don't think we're going to see 61 points out of them. But Jamar Chase, impossible to keep him off the list after a performance like that.
Dude, I got him. I have him in my Bush League and he nearly scored more points than the team I'm playing. The team I'm playing finished the day with 90, and he scored 60. So it's pretty wild.
I went to bed Thursday night in the Bush League Classic down 99-0 because Buddy had Burrow and Chase, 2 players, and I'm like, oh, this will be a fun week.
Absolutely wild. And then how many? Lamar had like 4 tutties, man. I can't even imagine having Lamar and Chase. And I'm assuming a lot of people did, or at least some people in the world, in the whole world of fantasy. Sure. I'm sure a lot of people had Lamar and Chase.
There's a lot of Jamar and Lamar.
Yeah,
Jamar and Lamar, baby.
Dude,
that's a perfect stack. The Jamar Lamar. Number 4, wide receiver of the week over at Bush League Sports. I think I actually just exited 2 of them by accident. I think I did. This is not the number 4 guy. He's coming up a little later in the list, but I accidentally just clicked off a guy, my bad. But number 4, Cooper Kupp. We talked about him earlier. He is my number 4 guy of the week. He's going to be against New England. Not a very good. He hasn't had the greatest, they haven't had the greatest track record against wide receivers so far this year. He's coming off some back-to-back good games. I think it's going to be a great one. He's going to run all over New England.
Yeah, I like this pick, and I like Cooper Kupp to continue to excel coming off the injury. I think that each week he's getting stronger and stronger and putting up more and more points. So
my number 3 receiver, I also clicked off him, Deebo Samuel. He's due for a big game. We said Brock Purdy is on that list. If you're going to have a guy like Purdy on there, he's going to throw it to somebody to get those points. I think Deebo Samuel's queued for a big game. He's my number 3 receiver of week 11.
Yeah, Deebo's pretty consistent, all season. He's right in the middle. He's putting up 13, 14, 15.
Jonathan asks, Jens, why is the Twitter on delay? Bro, like, do I look like the head of SpaceX? Of course I have no idea why. You're going to have to tweet Elon and his support. I love you with all my heart, but I couldn't tell you for the life of me why it's on delay. Maybe they've had to navigate some bandwidths to catch another rocket out of space. It should be up to time soon. I love you, brother.
Perfect. I think that we're up to your last
number
one
2, AJ Brown, baby. I mean, he's my number 2 receiver of the week. He's an absolute stud. We got, obviously, again, like I just said about Purdy, we got the quarterback on the list. It's got to throw it to somebody. AJ Brown, I think, is going to come with another big game this week. Couple slow games the last few weeks. It's breakout time, baby.
Dude, I hope so, man. I am excited for this game. This is like a must-watch game for next week here. Washington, Philly, must-watch. Going to be fireworks for sure.
Number 1.
I'll tell you what, dude. Listen.
He's on the field right now.
You are
Ross St. Brown, number 1 next week. He ain't this week, but next week he is number 1 on my list. That's how Jared Goff gets into a number 5 spot. They're going to be playing against, again, the hapless Jacksonville Jaguars. We are going to see a big game from Amon-Ra St. Brown.
So we had Frank on last week. We had Mir Frank on.
He had a nice jersey.
He did. He's a Detroit guy, maybe a bit too hard in the paint for Detroit, but I'm convinced he paid you off. I'm convinced he paid you off because I feel like all we're talking about is the Lions and how good they are this year. We're talking about all the Lions players. We're talking
that's because they're my dynasty team. They're my Bush League dynasty.
Oh my gosh!
I can't talk about anything else but the guys who run my dynasty.
Okay, all right. I got it. So wait, hold on. We're not
my own ego.
We're not going to hear any more Lions players on this list, is what you're telling me. For the rest of these lists, there's not going to be any more Lions players.
Yeah, no, there actually isn't. So yeah, no, you're good.
Okay.
So then our sleeper, again, as always, a little deeper. These guys are your top guys, but we're ranking them for DFS and where we think, and you'll be able to go and see, if you play those Bush League picks, maybe you'll win your gambles because we are usually pretty dialed in. Like we said, we got about 700-800 record. We're locked in. But the sleeper pick of the week, DeAndre Hopkins versus Buffalo. Still available in some leagues, which is kind of insane. And he's going to be a tiny bit cheaper in your DFS leagues. But I mean, if he's anywhere, he's got to be picked up. He's got to be rostered. It's disgusting that he's unowned anywhere. And against Buffalo, like we said, it's going to be a big, high-scoring game. I think DeAndre Hopkins is actually going to be the only one who feasts in Kansas.
And so now I'm looking to see if he's available in either of my leagues. That's a great point. No, nope. Our leagues are smart. Bush League Sports, Friends Fantasy League. we're all locked up in our league. But
don't forget, later in the show, we're ripping this. Someone who likes, shares, and comments on this is going to get the cards out of it. We're going to get in touch with you after the show. So make sure you give it a share, give it a like. We appreciate y'all coming in. But we're going to get into our top 5 tight ends. Get this rolling, close it out. So get into our top 5 tight ends. You ready for number 5?
I'm ready, man.
I lied to you. Sam Laporta, number 5, Detroit Lions, baby. He is good. He's got a tutty today. I wasn't sure about today, and I was thinking he might have another slow week, but he's in the end zone. So anybody who started him, which probably everybody, because they drafted him first overall, and they've just been holding on for dear life to what kind of hope for 10 weeks. He's got one this week, but next week he's coming back with a vengeance. He's going to be a good one. Jacksonville. I mean, just everybody in Detroit is going to get a million points. It's Jacksonville.
Absolutely, man. I'm looking right now. I'm trying to check. He's got the tutty. He's 3 for 6, 66 yards. You know, he struggled early on, right? Everybody was, hey, is this the number 1 tight end pick? You know, what's going on? But it looks like he's picking it up, and good for him, man, and good for his owners. 15 points this week. I'm sorry, 15 points last week. Just crushing it.
Number 4. Pat Freiermuth hasn't done a whole lot this season. Like, he's had some games last season. He had an okay week this week, 10 points against Washington. But I think I think against Baltimore, they're going to have to put up points. I think Baltimore is going to shut down. Harbaugh's going to really shut down that Pickens program a little bit. And Russ Wilson's going to get exposed. And it's going to be check down city to Pat Freiermuth to keep your Steelers afloat against Baltimore.
So ever since Russ Wilson came back, Pickens has been getting a lot more looks, right? Pickens did not see any looks, did not catch any balls with Justin Fields under center. And I was a Justin Fields dick rider. I admit it right now, quote it, snap it, whatever you want to do. I was all about Justin Fields, and now Pickens is really something else. He's making unbelievable catches, but you are 100% right. They are going to be all over George Pickens. And what does that do? That opens up Freiermuth. The Steelers have historically been a tight end heavy offense. Pat Freiermuth is a beast of a tight end, man. Whenever he catches the ball anywhere, not even just in Pittsburgh, anytime he catches the ball anywhere, you hear everybody yell, "Moose." They're not booing. They're yelling, "Moose," anywhere you go. So I hope, and I bet you're right that we're going to hear a lot of Moose in Pittsburgh here next week.
Nice. I love it. We're going to rip through the tight ends, and then I seen our boy Trav. He's playing in the Bushleague. He's joined our Twitter space here. So Trav, we'll get to you in 2 secs, see what your Bushleague take of the week is. But we got number 3, Travis Kelce coming in. He's been performing lately, 20 points. And, well, just like I said, there's going to be someone who's got to perform in that game. For you guys, it's going to be the same thing here. We're going to see Travis Kelce put up some big numbers in a high-scoring game against Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, he's guaranteed touchdown, man. Guaranteed touchdown. Anytime touchdown, take that bet next week. Did you say that we got JT ready to come on stage, or Travis ready to come on stage?
He's up there. As soon as we wrap up tight ends, we're gonna bug him. Number 2, Evan Ingram. He's gonna be our guy next week. Detroit, a big high-scoring game. The only person on the entire organization is going to be check down city Evan Ingram from our boy, whoever's playing right now, Mac check down Jones. Evan Ingram's number 2 in that high scoring game. Someone on the other team's going to have to do something. So it's Evan Ingram.
Dude, Mac Jones had a tutty today. You.
Atta boy. And then George Kittle rounds it out. He's the dog, man. He's never ends going to be. And then my sleeper pick of the week is a guy who's really not a sleeper anymore because he's bounced back last few weeks. He's proven he's doing it. He's not going to be available on the waiver wire anywhere. But Mark Andrews, he's going to be my sleeper pick of the week for tight ends.
Dude, Mark Andrews had a decent game on Thursday, had a touchdown. It was there was a little bit of nerves in Mark Andrews land early in the season with Likely scoring those 2 touchdowns in the first game of the season. But we're here, and I love the Mark Andrews sleeper pick this week. Tyrone, man, hey, when you jump over to Trav, I need to step away for 1 second.
Yep, all good. You feel free to do your thing. I'm just showing everybody here the nice little Bushleague vending tokens. You're popping away for a sec.
Yes, sir. Give me 1 sec.
Yeah, but Bushleague vending tokens, those are for sale. Head over to OpenSea. You can grab one of those. Are going to be connecting to our fantasy sports site and BamBamsFitness.com. But Trav, what's going on tonight, brother? Sorry to make you wait so long, but we are dialed in. We are pro, and we're trying to teach some information this week. But how you doing, brother? What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Doing good. Just watching the game, hanging on a hotel room, away for work, buddy.
Nice. I love it. I love it. You chilling with Maddie? You guys on the road, or where the hell's he?
No, I don't know where he's at these days. I haven't really worked with him in a while, so, he's changed companies, and I haven't really said too much about him. I haven't seen him at all, so he's been doing his thing, and I'm doing mine.
Nice. Love it. Love it. Well, what do you got for hot takes this week? You doing good in fantasy? What's happening in your world?
I just want to bring up Joe Burrow, man. This guy's put up serious points against the Ravens this year. He just nonstop killing it. He has, where's he got? He's gotten, what does he have? He has 2 games versus the Ravens. 5 touchdowns first game, 4 the next game. 428 yards and 392 yards. And yet he has no wins against the Ravens.
It's kind of disgusting how just every time something happens to put up. This time it was the coach. It wasn't even him. The coach, I just think it was the coach. They should have. I don't know what your thoughts are on going for 2 at the end of the game like that. I think you should be I think you should be playing for the tie, not the loss. I don't look at it as playing for the win because they just all seem to screw it up. But I mean, I think they should have went for the tie and played the coin toss, seeing what happened.
Well, that's exactly it, right? You guys are tired. They just played a full drive to get that touchdown. Why not take the 3 and
Or what? I really don't think it's analytically smarter to do what they do. I really don't. I know they've been the push, but no, you're right. That's got to be so depressing for Burrow. Just it's year after year after year, just getting dummied by this guy, and you're putting up 400-yard games all the time. And it's like not Mahomes. Lamar just plays to his opponent, right? Burrow puts up 400 yards, 420 yards. Well, Lamar puts up 490, right? It's it's just unstoppable.
Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. I mean, it was a great game. It's just a shootout, but it's heartbreaking to see something like that. I had him in our league, so it's just keep putting up the points, but man, it sucks to get the loss after all that.
Nice. Who knows? Well, thank you for tuning in. Make sure I don't know if you've shared or not, but make sure you do. We'll be ripping some packs here in a little bit. Maybe we can take home some sweet Parkhurst cards.
That's another thing too with Jared Goff tonight, man. I think he's made more incompletions tonight than all season. He was spot on, and then it seems like the Texans are just absolutely taking him apart.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing I'm doing the show right now and not actually watching the game because it seems like I might be sad about it.
Yeah, I think he has 5 picks tonight, and that's probably the most I've seen out of him in years.
It might be, that'll match the rest of his season probably. Trav, what are you looking for, brother?
I apologize. I had to leave. I spilled coffee all over myself, all over.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yeah. And, coffee stains pretty good. I got some carpet underneath me. So I'm getting towels and,
nice.
I should have just left the camera on. I was slapping the mic. It got a little wild here. So I
didn't know if you had family stuff going on. So I took you off the stage. I didn't want to have your, any quarrels coming leaking into the interwebs. Not that.
No, any quarrels. Yeah. No, I think she's got it. The wife, she knows Sundays are for Bushleague Sports Talk with TKB and Sleep and Trav here. Dude,
I love it. Well, we got to get into we got to keep a roll, but we're gonna get our top 5 defenses of the week. We ain't gonna spend more than about 45 seconds on that. But you got a big defense pick for next week, Trav? Or anybody you're thinking about starting? Or who you playing in? Who do you got in your fantasy league?
So I think.
I was talking to the other Trav, but I just realized there's 2 Travs. They're both Travs.
Give Trav.
See what the guest had to say.
Let's let him go. Yeah.
I don't know. I just had to pick up a defense here. So I have the Commanders right now, and they've been holding tight. They've been pretty good.
Yep.
But they're in for a tough week, I think. So I'm going to have to switch it up and see who's available within the league.
Lice, I love it. We got the top 5 for you right here. You'll dial in. One of them will be available on the waiver wire. I think at least 2 or 3 for sure. But my top 5 next week, my boys. Denver coming in at number 5. Atlanta, it's going to be easy pickings compared to KC. If they can hold KC to 16 points, they'll be able to hold Atlanta to probably actually not less, but they're just going to dominate. There'll be sacks, there'll be picks. It'll be a big game for the Broncos.
Football math doesn't really line up, just like UFC math doesn't line up, like fighting math doesn't line up. So it's not like you beat this team's going to win, and this team's going to win. So I don't know, man. I don't know about that pick, but I'd be stoked, man. I want to see Denver in the playoffs. I want to see you a happy camper. So, dude, I hope it happens.
Next one are teams that are all probably available, but the LA Rams against New England. That's an easy pick. New England sucks. Texans against Dallas. I think it's another bad week for Dallas. And Lions against Jags. And it's like we've been talking all game. I think that's going to be a dominant, high-scoring game for the Lions next week.
Realistically, looking at those teams that you played against, you can pick up a defense any given week against New England, against Jacksonville, against Tennessee,
my
and generally do good.
Who's playing Carolina, right? Who's playing Carolina? Pick them up. They're on a bye next week, so we don't get that luxury. Yeah. But it's those are teams. And then my number one defense of the week next week is going to be the Vikings against the Tennessee Titans.
Yep, couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree
more.
The
sleeper defense, one that's probably available because they haven't been doing that good. Miami Dolphins against Las Vegas. So those are your guys, Trev. Pick one of them up. You'll be rolling next week.
Absolutely. So I'm sitting with Texans. I've rocked the Texans D most of the year. So I'll be definitely starting them in my Friends Fantasy League on next week.
And then a couple bold plays, some guys who are probably starters who we say might have a bad performance, who might be the guys to bench next week. I got 5 for you. Geno Smith for San Francisco. I don't think he's going to have a good game. Bijan Robinson versus Denver. I got Denver in the top 5. I know that's a bold pick, but
that is a bold pick.
I'm saying bench Bijan Robinson next week, unless he's like a guaranteed starter for you. But if you're like, hey, I might have to bench a running back this week according to my roster, that's the guy. Bench him. Devontae Adams versus Indy.
We both picked the Jets to win. Who's he going to pass to if he can't pass to Devontae Adams?
It's going to be Breece Hall, and it's going to be Tyler Conklin, and it's going to be Garrett Wilson, and it's not going to be Devontae Adams.
Okay, let's see it.
David Njoku, been a stud most of the year. Don't see it next week. Just a good New Orleans is pretty good at defending against a tight end, so I'm not seeing it. And then a bold, crazy one, because you've already said Waddle sucks, Tyreek Hill versus Las Vegas.
Waddle doesn't suck that bad. They don't throw him the ball. He gets like 2 looks a game.
It's changed. Last year, he was like even with Hill. This year, he gets no throws.
Yep, agree. Dude, love those, man. I love those bench him plays. This is our first week doing that, and this might be one of my favorite segments.
I love it. I love it. Well, we got her dialed in. Bushleague, we already kind of covered some website promos. So what we need to get into this week is one of my favorite segments, favorite things. It's a little different every week, but it is the
Say, man, you know the best part of waking up is not giving a fuck? Now you do not. Big Snoop D-O-W-G, Death Row mixtape, and this is for you. Yeah.
Bushleague Beatdown! Brought to you by Bam Bam Boxing. Check out the workouts today.
All right, well, this week's Bushleague Beatdown ain't your normal. It ain't one of the games. It is not one of the scores. We're transitioning to hockey, and this week's Bushleague Beatdowns come from the Newfoundland Hockey League. Yeah, gotta love it a little. East Coast hockey. But he gives it to the guy on the bench. We're going to get a little CTV News action here.
Security
Let's go.
Video from the arena shows defenseman Justin Pender walking down a hallway and punching, at least 3 times, a spectator to that night's match. It followed an on-ice incident where the player received a 10-minute misconduct and a slashing penalty when he broke his stick on an opposing player late in the 3rd period. It was a lopsided game that was getting a little bit out of hand. A hefty 122 penalty minutes were handed out in the 3rd period. Harbor Grace's mayor, Don Coombs, says...
But he's just antagonizing him.
Also being banned from the arena for his part in instigating a...
You can just see him antagonize some little kids like, oh no, I better get out of the way of this one, right? But yeah, RCMP get involved. But I thought it was kind of funny.
Said clearly today that he does not condone the actions of his player. He said they've had a blunt conversation about what happened. But Hapgood has also said that there was no type of arena security that could have stopped the fans.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like, you know, I mean, So he's getting like suspended from the arena. He's not going to be allowed to play in the home arena anymore because the city's like mad about it. And he's one of the best players in the league too, which like really going to suck for their team. But I mean, if the fan comes there and he's beating in Norway, I feel like that's actually fair. I mean, maybe on Bushleague sports, we look at things a little differently, but I think he deserved an ass whooping in Norway. I'd give the player a raise.
It's tough. It's tough because how many fans were in the stadium? I mean, over under 12, you know? I mean, I don't know. I don't, and how much is he making? And how many Coors Lights did he, or I'm sorry, how many Molson Canadians did he have before the game? How many Labatt Blues? You know, I mean, if he had 6 Labatt Blues before the game, that might happen. I don't know how many he had on the bench during the game at the Newfoundland Hockey League.
Lit me off in the hallway, you could deserve a licking. So I think the only righteous thing is like there probably should be security, and they probably shouldn't be in the hallway where like if you're no, dude, if you come down my hall in my house to lit me off, you get a whooping.
I agree with that. This is like Mullet Arena where they had to walk 17 miles to get to the rink. Like how is the fans walking down the same hallway the players are walking down when they get ejected? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. But yeah, so I mean, in his defense, probably fair. Probably should have had some security. But that's a Bushleague beatdown of the week. Our boy there whooping some ass in the good old Canadian East Coast Hockey League.
Dude, you know who's whooping ass in fantasy hockey now?
Who's
this
that?
guy? This guy. And when I say whooping ass, I say whooping ass.
I mean the ways.
I mean, I'm barely above 500, but I mean, how I started first year, dude, I'm happy to be above 500. I have only the only week I've ever lost was against your dad. And I think I'm actually going to lose this week too.
Attaboy, Pops.
I lost my phone in the coffee spilling incident. I don't know where my phone went, so I can't see how I'm doing now.
Trav's listing, and we were just talking about Maddie. I had to give Maddie a whooping in fantasy this week, so I took him out in the fantasy hockey league this week. But we'll get into that. We'll get into why you're probably doing so good too. We've been teaching you the pickups of the week and how to dial in. But first, I just want to touch on the top players in the league so far this year. Quick little just shout out to a few of the players that have been excelling so far in the NHL season early on this year. But we got McKinnon, 22 apples already, 7 goals. I mean, doesn't surprise me. He's probably number 1 player in the league. It's impressive.
Absolutely. And he is doing it, or has done it, this early half of the season without, this top tier team. Right now we got Val Nichushkin coming back. Who knows when Landeskog's coming back, but once they have that full roster back in place and that power play is kicking, holy cow, McKinnon's going to be unstoppable. He, up for another heart without a doubt.
Love it. Number 1, top goalie in the league. Hellebuck, 11 wins, .935 save percentage, under 2 goals against average, 183. He is ripping. He is helping the Winnipeg Jets dominate. There's only one team that's beat them this year, the Leafs.
I hate it. I hate it being a Central Division hockey fan. I have built my life up on talking smack on the Winnipeg Jets just for them to just destroy everybody this year. They are beating the brakes off of team, not even just simple wins. Yeah, they've had a couple OT wins, but they beat the stars out of the Dallas Stars this past week, and it was a wild one. So
that's pretty good.
Thanks, Jets. I was wrong. You guys were right. You guys are a good hockey team. I don't know about good hockey team.
Another player excelling so far early on, not surprising either. Brady Tkachuk, 8 goals, 10 apples, plus 13, which is super impressive on the Ottawa team. Obviously, they got Linus Allmark this year, which helps with a little goaltending to back him. But that's a very impressive +-2 on the Ottawa team that hasn't necessarily been on the better side of the scoring the last few years.
Allmark, I mean, he's not with Boston anymore. He's with Ottawa now, right? So he's letting in some more goals. The defense isn't quite as strong. However, for Brady,
big upgrade for Ottawa, though.
Absolutely, and for Brady Tkachuk to be +13, as you say, is truly impressive.
Another one of the best, but obviously, you need to put him on your fantasy lineup. I don't know. You obviously joined early. You need some stud keepers, but Macklin Celebrini, I mean, come on. The guy's averaging 1 goal per game. He's an absolute unit. It's wild.
All right, listen.
It's a kid's rookie season.
Yeah, a goal a game's pretty good. I'm going to tell you what, I know you've been working this show all day. So I don't want to school you on the 1 goal a game thing, but I'm going to have to.
Oh, okay.
He did not score today. It was a 1-0 win over the New Jersey Devils, but it wasn't a Macklin.
So going into today, he was averaging.
He was. I'm just teasing you. But yeah, you're
Except
right.
like the crazy part is that he didn't score. It goes down to like 0.66 because he's only played 4 games.
4 games. Yeah, it drops down. He's 75%. The kid's special for sure. Just watching him move out there. I think his second or third goal, just no look, carried through 3 players and roofed it, bar down. Man, it was so impressive.
He'd look good on your
player.
fantasy team, so feel free to send some trades.
I can't do it.
That's fair. Crosby, and he's and the other guy I want to highlight so far. Crosby been impressive in what is going to be probably one of his last 1 or 2 years, signing another $8.7 million contract, like we touched on a few shows ago. But just finally crosses the all-time league leader in face-off wins. So I want to give a shout out to Crosby for that. Actually, I want to. That took him a long time too, though, right? Like, who was the man before that? Because that took a long time for him to break that record. So we'll get that stat coming to you.
Cool record to break. And I want to tell you, Crosby struggled early on, and he got a lot of hate in the media, the first month of the season about struggling. And do you know what he did that really turned his game around? I'm going to tell you.
Ayahuasca?
A mustache, dude. He brought out the mustache. He trimmed everything else up. And it was a power move. He was telling the D that, hey, listen, I mean business now. And that's what people do when they have mustaches. They mean business. And Crosby came in, got the mustache, and he's putting the puck in the net.
Especially
crushed it.
Raising some money for men's prostate cancer. So shout to the mustache. That'll always give a man power.
Love it.
Way to break the record, Crosby. We're rooting for you. Also, the other man in that same realm, Ovechkin, still chasing Gretzky. Second in the league, tied with 7 other players, 10 goals. So impressive feat. I was beaking my buddy Billy, who's in the one fantasy with me this year, saying the Caps are going to have to drag this guy around for 4 seasons for him to break the record. And he's like, he's what have you been watching hockey? He's second in goal scoring. I'm like, I know. I just got to razz you a little bit. But Ben the stud. So we got 7 guys with 10 goals in the league and only 3 guys ahead of them, all with 11, Reinhart, Kucherov, and Nylander. So we got basically 10 guys with 10 or 11 goals leading the league right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to Ovi, at this rate, I mean, he's on pace for 48 goals this year. So he would
be sweet if he did it this year.
It would be
so cool. Like if he's 1 or 2 away, that's going to be lame. Because like, I feel like he needs to do it in epic fashion. Like it can't be in game 6 next year. It has to be in like game 81 or 82. And it has to be like
an OT winner from his spot. Cool. You know what I mean? Oh, beautiful.
Honorable mention too to the next best goal scorer in the league, Dylan Larkin, Detroit Red Wings. What a great organization. But moving on to probably one of the reasons why you're such a stud in fantasy hockey now is we got, a little bit of info that we're always sharing with the people, and that's these man games. Really important to when you're playing your fantasy. Obviously, you got guys who are good. You're not dropping your best guys if they're playing 2. You're just dealing with it that week. But every week we go to the board and we see who's playing 4 games and who can we, make pickups with that'll bolster our team to help us get that win this week. So this week we got our top 5 forwards to stream. Number 1 for me, Brian Rust. The reason for that, it's a 4-game week. And like I've mentioned in the past, looking at this lineup here, those teams that play 4 games but get it done before the end of the week, that's always my favorite. You can stream that guy, and then you can still maybe drop him on Sunday, and maybe you need a couple blocks or you need this certain stat category. I'm always going on Sunday and pinpointing what categories I need to try and beat my opponent. And so getting 8, 4 man games out of a pickup from a guy, maybe you got a Tampa guy who's not that good. You drop him, and now instead of 1 game by, that day, you're getting 4, and you still got the option to drop on Sunday. Brian Rust, number 1 pickup of the week to stream.
Can I jump in here? And I'm going to tell you what I've been doing, and you can see it on this map, is that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and Sundays are the low days, right? Like the days where there's not as many games. The Saturdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays are usually the big played weeks.
The daily face-off too for this.
Yeah, absolutely. So those I'm looking at this and I'm looking specifically who's playing Monday and Wednesday. Who can I jump in, drop to, pick up to, whatever, looking for Monday and Wednesday, because I know I'm not going to be able to fill my roster those days. On Tuesday and Thursday, I will 100% be able to almost always fill my roster spots based on the size of the bench we have in the league.
You can see that reflecting Saturday, Thursday, big games in the league. Tuesday often too. But
absolutely. So that's what I'm looking for.
No, that's good. But yeah, so that puts Brian Rust, my number one. Number two pick of the week for me, Kastelik, Boston, the centerman. He's been electric this year, hitting all the stat categories. He's going to be available in around like 68 to 85% of leagues. So Kastelik, 3 games for Boston. He's a guy that I'm going to be picking up this week, getting a lot of hitting and back end stats. So just an impressive guy from the Bruins for this week. Another guy I'm picking up, only a 3-game week, but Ross Colton from Colorado. He's going to be returning from a 5-game absence. Was hot prior. I think he'll be back, and it's 3 games by Friday as well. So it gives you the option to maybe. The thing about Ross Colton is you might not want to drop him if someone's let him go and you get him. You might end up wanting to keep him, but you're going to get 3 games out of him and still have a wide open weekend. Where now we go back and we pop into this. If you can get a guy like Ross Colton coming out of Colorado, playing 3 games by Friday, all of a sudden you can go and make another pickup for a Seattle or a St. Louis guy that plays 2 games Saturday, Sunday. And, now you've used 2 moves and you've maximized your week. You got 5 man games out of it. So that's a good way to just get those extra hits, extra stat categories. And just, the way I played in hockey is the more man games you can get in a week, the more likely you are to win. It's just really almost that simple. You're going a little blurry on us. So you must be getting too much information on that end. Your bandwidth can't compute it, but you're back.
How often are you looking at, power play lines? How often are you looking at? So what I really love about Daily Faceoff, you get
before the draft.
Okay, so you're not looking at them throughout the year when you're picking up and moving and changing. Okay,
maybe if I'm like to a point where I'm like, okay, there's 2 guys and I really don't know which guy I should take for sure, then maybe I'll pop it up and compare lines. Oh, okay, he's playing second line and a power play. He's second, and maybe that'll help me push over the edge going into the season. 100%. I want to know what are these guys most likely to play. But at this point, most of the guys that are on the power play probably are rostered. And when you get maybe a stud like that, he might end up becoming a guy who's not someone who's hitting that waiver wire. He just ends up staying on your team, right? But that's kind of how that flows for me.
No, I appreciate that, man, because that's what I think I'm going too deep sometimes. I don't know if you can go too deep though.
Yeah,
but yeah, I've been jumping in on the power play, trying to figure out what lines they're on.
Yeah,
especially when you're looking at those lower end teams like the Anaheim Ducks.
I find it because we do our hockey leagues on Yahoo. So I find basically when I narrow it, I'm usually going to narrow it down to like, if I'm looking for specific teams, well, then I can select the team or 2, right? And kind of narrow. And often there's really only a couple players. And I'm actually more bound to go in and change the stats from projections to season total. What have these guys done so far this season? And compare them that way. Gotcha. Who's got more goals? Who's been performing so far this season? I'll plug you in as opposed to what line they're on. But 100% going into the draft, I'm doing all that weird shit in the draft. If I'm trying to decide between who's picking, I'm looking. But I think we're kind of at a point where you really don't find many power play guys, and you're just more looking for like, can I get extra man games? Can I just get a guy who's stepping on the ice 3-4 times in any capacity? And I'm more just looking as what has he done this season? And I guess maybe because that's a simpler thing than jumping websites, right?
Love it, man.
My other 2, we'll fly through it because we're going to get near the end of the show, wrap it up. Connor Garland from Vancouver. He's my right wing. He's going to have 4 games this week. And then a left wing, we got Holloway from St. Louis, another 4-game week. So a couple guys that I'm going to be looking at for those 4-game weeks in the NHL fantasy. That'll help a guy big time going into your next week's matchup. I think it's week 4 for NHL.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Love it. Yeah, dude. I got to get in on, I haven't got in on any of these guys yet. I need to take a look and see who's available in our league because I got some moves I need to make.
Love it, love it. Our league's a little deeper, so sometimes you might even have to sometimes go a little deeper. I actually when I was looking for guys that would be available, I like went out of our league and into a different league because I'm like, our league's too deep. People won't even need these guys. So these guys might not be available in our league, but I'm in a 10-person league where we have like one bench, so there's literally like 100 less players drafted. So I was like, I'll go off their rosters because we're pretty deep in the Bushleague league. But moving on, we're gonna wrap her up soon. We got a couple top D-men and goalies to stream for next week. Same thing, looking at those 4-game weeks. My top D-men out of Las Vegas, Noah Hannafin, and we got one more, I think, if you got the list there.
Yeah, you got Hannafin.
I left it for you because I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, sorry, I don't either, man. Yeah, the D from Pittsburgh, man. Yeah.
So, or is it Pittsburgh or Boston? I might have had it wrong. He might be a Boston D-man. I think I got the wrong D.
Yeah, not sure. The wrong black and gold, huh?
Yeah, no, he got traded. He's over on Pittsburgh. But let's see his lines. I can't even find. I don't know how to say his name. Where is it? Grizzle. Oh, where's the D-man? Does it show? Oh, there we are. Yeah, Grizzle. I have no clue how to say that. I'll say Grezlik. That's it. It's Grezlik. We're going with Grezlik now. That is his new name.
That is it. I'm pretty confident that is it. Well done.
And then goalies to start and stream. So if you're looking for some goalies action a little later on in the week, the guys I have highlighted for this week for me is Tarasov and Merzlankis from Columbus Blue Jackets, because they're actually both widely available throughout the league, and you're going to get that back-to-back Friday, Saturday. One thing is, you see that back-to-back, you almost guaranteed in today's NHL, the goalies aren't splitting that. The goalies are splitting it almost always. So Tarasov, Merzlankis, pick up one of them. You're almost guaranteed to get at least one start on that back-to-back, and maybe two depending. And then the other guy is Jamie Hoffer. Been playing really, really well in St. Louis, and they got a back-to-back later in the week as well. So I think that he's a good goalie. You might want to look to on that the end of the weekend. He's going to get that Saturday or Sunday start. I think that'll be a good goalie to wrap it up for you.
So I am pulling up our league right now, and I believe that Cam Talbot was available. What's going on with Detroit's goalie situation? I'm sorry, I'm taking us off the rails here real quick. What's Detroit's goalie situation like?
Honestly, I haven't watched enough to know.
Okay, no worries.
Make me look like a tard because it's my own team.
No, you're good. So I saw him available in our league, and I was like, why isn't anybody picking up Talbot? I kept saying I'm going to get back to him.
Probably a bottom 8 team, so they're not getting a lot of wins. I think that's probably more of the reason.
P.S. I said I was doing really well in our league, and I got smoked this week. I got smoked by the Beaver Bay Honkers. Whoever the Beaver Bay Honkers are, it's
the beater, baby. Let's
gave
go.
Me a shellacking Bushleague beatdown of the sassy pink
that'll dial in our hockey. Don't forget to check out Vayner Sports Rewards. Get yourself a VSP hockey hat like I got. But I think it is time for our sassy shred report, baby. Let's get into it.
Shredding Sassy is a social club for action sports enthusiasts from all over the world to share the love and stoke for action sports. We got chapters in Canada. We got chapters in the US, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia. We're all over the place bringing action sports to communities near you. We got discounts. We got live events. We have anything you want from an action sports perspective. So tap in with the social club. Get things like coaching from pros. Get access to pro athletes at events, in person, right to you. It's going to be a great year for Sassies, and we want you in the social club. Join the Sassies, and let's get out there, y'all.
Love it, baby. Love it. Welcome to the Sassy Shred Report. Such a shredding, sassy Web3 brand that's bridging the gap action sports culture between Web3 and Web 2 and just the everyday real world. A lot of cool events, but we got some mountains that are open, baby. It is shred season. We got mountains open in the US of A, baby, and a few of them opening in California. Colorado seem to be the big hot spot. It's crazy to see Arizona, a spot in Nevada. That's a spot that got some mountains open, but couple going and ski Colorado. We got a couple little openings going over on the East Coast, but mostly Colorado and a few down in California. Really not much California, actually. Mostly just all Colorado. There's actually just all
Yeah,
Rockies.
Colorado, Nevada, Utah, and
It's dumping in the Rockies right now, so it's beautiful.
it is. It's been wild there the last few days. I know that our boy Keith is in Aspen, and he was getting dumped on, and then Keystone, the Vale, Winter Park area. I mean, but looking at this list, you can see who all the lifts that are open, and New Mexico is sitting at a solid. I think it's probably the greatest percentage of lifts open right there with 46 of 53. Anyway, man, we're stoked. It's winter again. Snow
Wolf
season.
Creek's ripping. We got a Wolf Creek, Colorado, whatever that is, 137 out of 144.
It can't be right, is it? Holy cow! Let's go.
It must be like a smaller place or something. Hey,
I mean, 100. Yeah. So 10 of 11 lifts open. Is that what that is on the right?
Should we just fly out? Yeah. Should we fly out immediately?
Dude, I think we should, man. I'm actually traveling up to Tahoe between Christmas and New Year's, that kind of week.
Nice.
So I'm gonna get that's where I'll get my first taste of the snow. So hopefully there's some snow then. And yeah, man, I'm stoked. I'm stoked. Winter's back, man. And with winter comes winter events. And I don't know about you, man, but my favorite winter event is the Free Ride World Tour. And that kicks off early January 2025. That's where they do the stops all over the world. This year, they're in Canada, they're in Spain, they're in Georgia and Austria, and the best free riders, skiers.
We might have to set up another pick'em for the start of January. We're kicking up the Bushleague site January 2025. Maybe we'll have to set up a pick'em.
I'm in. Let's make it happen. I know we did a little one last year with Shredding Sassy, and that was an absolute blast following those riders across the world. I'm sure Natural Selection has something coming up as well. So it's a big year. We're a gap year for the Olympics. So there will be the Winter X, no Olympics this year. Then we'll be kicking it off early 2026 with a Winter Olympics. So man, it's a fun time in Sassy Land. And Tyrone, we wanted to talk a little bit of action sports. I wanted to bring it back to the Flutog. And I don't know if you call that.
Before we touch on that, we'll just give a quick little love to the 3 mountains open in Canada: Banff, Sunshine, Lake Louise, Nikiska, right in the Rockies, right by Calgary. That's our hot spot. They're all flying open. But yeah, you were obviously, that's huge. You were at Flutag Red Bull. Like that's the coolest action sports event of the week. I got to know, what was that experience like? Because I've always seen that, and I'm always like, I giggle at it when I watch it. But like, how entertaining is it in person?
You're supposed to giggle at it when you watch it, and it's a show. It is an absolute show. So we showed up. So the first flying devices were being pushed off the ledge at 1 p.m. We showed up at 9:30, and we got there early before the crowds got there. But when we got there, they had all of the flying craft like lined in front of the ramp. And their design, their like how they designed it, like chicken scratch and pencil men and women, and and the flyers that each team has, I think 3 or 4 pushers and 1 pilot. They were all there talking about it. They're all dressed up. There's a Hulk Hogan and a Macho Man Randy Savage. They're Spartans. It was just really cool. All the different machines. I watched about 17 of them go off, and none of them made it more than 50 feet. There was like a 25-foot marker. There was a 50-foot marker. And then there was a 100-foot marker, and none of them made it even close. I think the only like a piece of one of them made it to the 50-foot marker. But Tyrone, it was such an awesome experience and such a blast. I highly recommend anybody go check. It is. Am I still here? No, you're good. You're good.
For a second, I took you down and said a switch.
No worries, no worries. What I was saying is it was easy. It was fun. Everybody there was having a good time. It was packed. Tampa was expecting 100,000 people to be down there near their convention center on the water watching this event, and Tampa did it well, man. They had it set up. They had the food there. They had bars. They had indoor bars, outdoor bars. Everything was set up. We were lucky.
So just like a whole day party event kind of thing then? Like, do they make it a whole day thing?
It was a whole day party event, man. Nice. It was cool. Great, but it wasn't just for adults. It was kid friendly as well. Lots of different vendors giving away all kinds of stuff, sun bum giving away sunscreen, just
maybe you'll have to get maybe we'll have to get Sassy or something at the Red Bull Food Tag at a booth.
So I don't know, man. So I was thinking about that, and I want to go back real quick. As we were walking in the building, parked outside, or as we were walking into the venue area, outside of the venue area, there's a Celsius truck parked. You know what I mean? Like Celsius and Red Bull, Celsius, the energy drink, and Red Bull are fighting. So they're giving like free hats to everybody, giving free Celsius to everybody. I didn't get a free Red Bull or a free Red Bull hat when I was in there. So I had,
they got to step it up, Red Bull. You got to step it up.
These Celsius guys are killer marketing. They're giving everybody who wants a hat, as long as they wear it, like as they walk into the giant Red Bull event, man. Killer marketing technique, man. We got a buddy, who rides for Celsius, or Celsius is one of his main sponsors, Noah Elliott, killer snowboarder, friend of ours at Thrash Talk. So, man, dude, just a great experience overall. And I can't wait to go to the next one. You asked about building a craft to participate. No, you didn't. You said we should put a tent up there. Well, I want to build a craft.
Yeah, let's make a tent airplane.
And so
tent.
It has to be a flying tent. That's exactly what it would need to be for it to reach that far. However, I think that there's some shenanigans that happen, because you have to submit your designs, and I hear a lot of designs get turned down. So I don't think if you're an aerospace engineer and making a flying machine out of paper mache, I don't think they're going to allow a flying machine that's actually going to fly well. I think I think that they want things that are going to go about 3 feet and sink, and everybody's going to get a good laugh. So you and me we're definitely in.
Yeah, let's set it up. Your son can come. We can all go kick it.
Oh yeah, it was so much fun. But yeah, shout out to Red Bull for the awesome event. I can't wait to the next one. I'll hit the next one as well. Wherever it's at, I'm heading there.
Love it. Well, I appreciate it. And we're going to wrap up the show here right away. But every week, we just want to highlight Shredder of the Week. This week, I just decided it was going to be Jamie Foy. I watched a clip and I was like, this guy's a beast. He's just going to be Shredder of the Week because he's an absolute beast. So we're going to watch this clip because it's nuts. Up, over, backside. That's crazy.
Dude, the amount of speed you have to have for that and the amount of wax that needs to be on that thing to make that successful is absolutely insane. And Jamie Foy has lived his life like that, man. The dude's an absolute legend. Multiple time X Games gold medalist, dude.
Like, it's so gnarly. I could dream of doing that in my whole life. That would be the greatest moment of my life.
That's like from Tony Hawk too, where you get on the rail and it's on easy mode. You can just stay on it all day long. That's what that's like. That's what Jamie Foy is doing right there. That is not easy mode. That's as hard as it gets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you watch the actual, I guess if I pop it up, if you watch the first clip, it's just him over and over again trying it for like days and different outfit changes, and a couple times he's getting to the top and eating it out. But definitely a battle. It seems like from the outfits, it was at least like a 2 or 3 day battle. But it's so crazy when they finally get that one clip. But that's like what goes into these videos, right? Is like people go for 3, 4, 5 days and end up with a 6-second clip, right? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, skateboarders, man, they're a different breed. That's for sure. They're a different breed.
Nice. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up the show. We told everybody at the start we were gonna rip a pack of cards, so we got to hold our word and rip a pack of cards, give it away, wrap up the show. I don't know if you got anything you want to touch on as we wrap it up, but
I'm stoked to see what's in here, and I'm stoked to be doing this with you, TKB. I know that this is show number 40 for us, and it's been about 18 months, I think, since.
I appreciate that. That's sweet.
It's been good, and I know that there's been some good ones. There's been some silly ones. There's been some wild ones, and there's been some probably pretty boring ones of us talking about nonsense. But no, I appreciate it.
Good job this week.
Yeah,
look at we got a Montreal Canadiens looking thing in there.
Oh man, can we get this is a 2021? You said, is this a Cole Caulfield
2021
rookie
card?
card?
2021, 2022. Looking for some base sets. So here we go. We're gonna move this cam, and that's where we're gonna do it. We got Philip Zadina, Parkhurst, Detroit.
You're gonna have to teach me the about cards again. I don't know like what the
Tom
deal is
Wilson.
with cards nowadays. Tom Wilson, man.
We'll
You
do
think
it.
he's-
We'll do like a full rip show one day. We'll plan to do a rip. We'll sell a bunch of stuff when the new site goes live, and we'll just learn about cards. We'll spend some days teaching people about collectibles and stuff.
That'd
Mark
be dope.
Edward Plastic, nice little D-man one. Oh, I should have saved that one for later, but we got a prominent prospects, Quentin Byfield. I'm not holding it looking towards myself. So
No,
I
it's
didn't,
perfect. You're
see the
perfect spot.
timing,
Yeah.
but that's a beauty right there. So someone's commented is taking home a dominant prospects, Quentin Byfield, LA.
Yee.
Love to see it. Tyler Toffoli. We got a Montreal Canadiens, but mostly like a lot of it is it's those big player names that are usually the hits, right? And then like a lot of times it's you're looking for like the autographs or the patches or the rare, numbered stuff is usually the rare stuff. Most of these cards are probably going to be pretty basic. Like even this one is probably not super super rare by any stretch, excuse me, but a lot of Montreal Canadiens in this one. Jesse Leon, Marcus Foligno.
There we go.
Evander Kane. We got a nice little San Jose Shark there. Justin Hall. And I know we had a Montreal Canadian. There's about 3 or 4 Canadians. Or Terry Lehkonen. So the poll here, we'll get a sleeve on it. We'll get it out to whoever ends up winning it. But the poll, Quentin Byfield. That's our poll, baby. So we'll put it up on the big one.
Yee.
That's a nice
pretty good.
card.
Yeah, it's a pretty card.
Someone's taking that home for free today from Bushleague Sports. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for joining the show. Appreciate you, Italo and Jonathan, for commenting, even though I beaked you, Jonathan. So I'll love you, know it. But no, it's been a good show. And I honestly think we actually taught some people some stuff this week. I think we actually dialed it in. We might have went past the time limit, so I'll let you go. I know you got to roll and get out of here. But I really enjoyed the show. I think we did a great job. And I think once we get this tied into the Bushleague Sports Show like we plan in 2025, be able to connect these different drafts and rips that we're going to be selling and actually put this information on a website that people can go later in the week and get the information and go back and, who did they say was going to be top 5? Literally just go to our website. It'll be there. That's some of the stuff we hope to bring in 2025. But I just appreciate everybody joining us and being a part of it. It's fun doing this every week. And I love doing it. So it's funner at the end of the day when I feel like we might have actually taught somebody something and they might actually subscribe to the YouTube. So
yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. 40 episodes, baby.
Let's go. Let's go.
What are we doing? Where are we doing episode 100 from? We got to pick like a cool spot to do it.
Episode 100.
Time of the year. But either way, episode 100, we have to do it together in person.
All right, I'm in. We're gonna need
That's all that matters. It will be together in person somewhere. Maybe we'll be hosting a draft with other people at said event for episode 100.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man. That would probably line up if we're on track. We're 18 months in at 40. I think we're gonna pick it up though. I feel like we're gonna pick up the pace.
We're gonna pick it up. We'll be episode 100 in early 2026.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, say we get 5 more this year, we get 40 next year, we're at 85.
Yeah. Okay. I like that, man. It sounds like we could hit some hockey games somewhere, maybe an all-star game.
Yeah.
We can line it up with an all-star game.
I guess we'll just have
That'd
to
be
see
kinda
where
fun.
that timeline's aligning.
Maybe a Super Bowl, early 2026.
We can't afford to be bringing our fans to the Super Bowl.
Well, we just have to bring us. We don't have to bring fans.
Some sketchy dive bar and they can buy their own drinks.
Yeah, all right. I'm in.
Go and again, it's up above Trap's head. Check out that barcode, Bushleague Media. Head over to the website, get an account, and make sure you get one of our Bushleague vending tokens. There are NFT digital memberships. We're going to be connecting to our fantasy sports site, our Bam Bam's fitness site, and unlocking all kinds of cool stuff in the future. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate the tongue lick. That was beautiful.
All right, man. Hey, dude, thank you very much again. Dude, great week. Hopefully, I can't wait till I play you in fantasy hockey. We're gonna have to make a bet going on that week when I play you. I know you're the top dog, but it's coming up, and it's gonna be fun. Anyway, brother, have a great night. I will talk to you later this week as we plan out our next episode and get some of these shorts out. And hopefully, we're able to come back next week and say all of these fantasy picks were hits. I think we will.
Love it.
But with
that,
I
appreciate it, man. But thanks for joining. Have a good one, brother. As always, thank you guys for joining. Thanks to Trav for hopping in for another week. We dialed in everything week 10 and 11 NFL, and we're going to give you guys all kinds of fun updates next week on week 12. We'll get the Friends Fantasy League updated, get you all the information there. So thank you guys for joining. We're going to be sending some cards out to someone who was commenting and shared the post. Appreciate you guys. The show is absolutely nothing without you guys watching it and sharing it. And we're going to rip all kinds of more packs in the future. There's actually a huge stash. We didn't even talk about the whole show, but there's a massive stash of cards sitting behind me. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Until next time, stay Bushleague.
From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. Tell them never question, dog, I'm sitting goat status. Eating chicken with my jeans, smoking on some cabbage. Used to pedal on this
moment where you skate down the street and some shit for brains yells out of his window, "Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip! Do a kickflip!"
Rags and house shoes, they know how the dog do. Skinny, heavy pockets, the West OG. Came across the globe, say they don't know me. Been applying pressure from 8 to 24 like Kobe. Mr. Hall of Fame used to bend the corners for strollies. Had to lay the blueprint, they rolled out the carpet. Anything I wanna own, I got my own market. Blew this, blew that, everything beautiful. Still ain't sold my guns and I still ain't had to use them though. Was once a hard head, now I'm counting blessings. I made my own way, still they don't ask questions. From the bottom, ain't no half-stepping. I'm the dog, I made it through so they don't ask questions. Long Beach, and it ain't no half-repping. Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions.
This is some straight, hey.
This is, oh gosh.
I got thin to smoke it.
Once a dog, always a dog, so they don't ask questions. I can't name a thing that I didn't have step. From the streets to movie screens, been getting bags and checks. Hit the solid, you won't hit me with no bad rep. Legendary Crippin' made it happen, and that's on the set. Still rolling on gold things, I'm a boss. Go get it, what the fuck you waiting on, man? Let's go.
Blaming on my mom from all the crippin' I see. Blaming on my grip, all the hustling.
Yes, sir.